We have an amazing interstate system. Now, our country is ranked 28th in industrial nations as far as infrastructure, so we need a lot of repair on our roadways. But they function well and they are very efficient. At the end of World War II, President Eisenhower realized that if our country was ever attacked, we would have to quickly move military from one end of the country to the other, and he developed the interstate systems. It was such a great idea that everybody started using it. In fact, trains that used to carry all the cargo and all the supplies are not used today like they were back then. Now your trucks are bringing things interstate on the expressways. When you're in an expressway environment, it is less dangerous because there are no intersections. Instead, we have exchanges. Getting on and off the exchange is your most dangerous environment on an expressway, but they're not as frequent as in commercial traffic where you have an intersection. There's different kinds of roadway interchanges. One of them is called a cloverleaf. Now this cloverleaf, you can see, is going to be a 360 turn. You're heading this way and then you're going to turn all the way around. Those curves on a cloverleaf are very dangerous. Slow down. The speed limit is going to be 15-20 miles an hour on those cloverleafs because they are very steep curves. Another exchange that you're going to run into is diamond exchange. And diamond exchange is an intersection of two expressways. The most dangerous part of a diamond exchange is when you get off of that exchange, the people coming towards you have a bridge there and the visibility is bad. Be sure, a lot of times they'll have a stop sign or even a stoplight, but be sure you don't go onto the roadway without looking, because that's your most dangerous spot. These people that you're getting on that road, they're going 55. Another exchange is your trumpet exchange. Your trumpet exchange is a secondary two-way road, comes into an expressway. And the last one that you don't see quite that often is called the frontage road exchange. Now in a frontage road exchange, what they do is they build a two-lane road beside the interstate. A two-lane, two-way road will run parallel to the interstate on both sides. And because of that, they will put all the gas stations, the restaurants, anything of public interest is on one of those road frontages. And you get off at the intersection, you go to the restaurant, you get back on, you travel down that road and you get back on. It is much safer for travelers and much more convenient too. When you're driving down an interstate, you're going to have your guide signs, your green guide signs. Now when you look at that green guide sign and that exit sign is on that right-hand side, that is going to be a right-hand exit. You need to get in that lane in advance. Do not wait till the last minute to swerve over and get in that exit lane. If you have a guide sign in the left, the exit is on the left-hand side, that is the left exit coming up. That is a very dangerous exchange for you, whether you're getting off or whether you're just driving by there. Because when there is a left exit, people will shoot across in front of you to make that exit. Be extra cautious in those spots. When you get off the interstate, you're at your exchange, you get off the interstate. Do not slow down on the interstate. There is a flow of traffic on the interstate. You are to get in the exit ramp and then you hit the brake. You do not slow way down before you go. So hit your signal, get in the exit ramp, and slow down. In the deceleration lane, you come around and you're slowing down. When you get on the very end of your exit, be sure that you check your speedometer more often, because after you've been traveling on the road for a long time, you can have what they call velocitization. What that means is, because you've been on the interstate traveling at high speeds, now that you're on a slower road, you'll feel like you're holding still, even when you're going probably 45. Be sure you check your speedometer often so that you can obey the laws there and not get a traffic ticket. When you're entering an expressway, your entrance ramp is going to be divided into 3 parts. The first part is the entrance ramp, and a lot of times the entrance ramp is 2 lanes narrowing down to 1 lane, and maybe even will yield a couple times before you actually get on the interstate. When you approach that entrance ramp, watch your speed, and as soon as you come around that curve and the highway is visible to your left, begin to glance over your shoulder. You are picking your spot on the interstate before you get there. Remember, never take your eyes off the road in front of you for more than 1 second, because someone in front of you could slow down and you would be unaware of it. But you're glancing to the left and you're picking your spot. Then you come into the merge area. Your left blinker is on. Do not slow down. Do not slow down on an entranceway to the highway. You should be going, if not the speed of the traffic, close to it so that you can merge to the left and get in the flow of traffic. If you slow down or hit your brakes at an entrance ramp, you're stuck. You cannot go from a dead stop and get on the interstate. Now, you have to ride on the shoulder at 45 with your signal on until there's a large gap. Very dangerous. Don't slow down. If you're afraid to ride on the interstate, don't get on it. Wait until you're more confident. Now, your most dangerous exchange in an interstate situation is going to be what they call a weave lane. In a weave lane, the same lane is used to enter the interstate as to get off the interstate. And when you get up to the point where you're getting ready to get on, there's a car beside you getting off. You have to work with those people. Now, the rule is yield to the left. So if you're getting on, you should yield to the traffic to your left. But it is really going to be a judgment call and depend on the speed of the car beside you. If they're going a lot slower than you with their right signal on, then go ahead and speed up and get in front of them. You have to be aware that you're working with these people. They're getting off, you're getting on. You're basically exchanging places. As you're driving down the interstate, be sure you're scanning the environment. The environment is huge. You're traveling a lot faster than you realize. Always be scanning. Know who is beside you. If you have someone in your blind spot, or you're in someone's blind spot and they come over and hit you, it is not going to be a fender bender. When you get to be doing high speeds, there are very serious accidents on the interstate. Now, there are less accidents on the interstate, but the ones that are much more serious. The best thing for you to do is to avoid the pack mentality. The natural inclination for everyone is when you get on the interstate and you see a pack of cars is to catch up with that pack. Don't do that. Stay back from the pack. You can drive at the same speed of the pack, but drive back. Keep an open lane beside you so that you have somewhere to go. And realize that if you're in a pack, if one person blows a tire up there, the whole pack's going to be involved. You can go the same speed, but you can stay back. If you plan it right, you can have a lot of the interstate to yourself, except in high traffic times, because you're driving behind them. Try not to be in anybody's blind spot, and especially in bad weather. Give yourself 6 seconds between you and the guy in front of you, and the person behind you have a buffer zone or a danger zone of 6 seconds behind you. If you want to pass or change lanes on the interstate, be sure that you look both lanes over, because the guy in the far left lane may be coming in the middle lane also. If you're in the right lane and you want to go the middle lane and this vehicle to the left wants to come into the middle lane, you yield to the left. Always yield to the fastest traffic on the interstate or to your left. Now, the safest place for you to drive most of the time is probably going to be in the middle lane. The right lane is reserved for people that are getting on and off the interstate. There's going to be a lot of slowing and stopping and changing lanes and a lot of interaction that if you don't have to be in that lane, be in the middle lane. The left lane on an interstate is for passing vehicles. They are going the fastest and they're passing. If you're in the left lane and there's no one beside you and there is someone behind you, you need to get over. Let them go by. Then when you get to a car that you want to pass, get back over on the left. But don't ride in that left lane if you're not passing anyone. That is a passing lane, and it's reserved for passing. And just like a left exit is a dangerous spot for you on the interstate, a left merge is very dangerous also. Not very often, but occasionally they will merge. You'll have to merge from the left. Remember, when you merge from the left into an already traveling multi-lane road, you're merging into the passing lane, and the cars there are going faster, and there's more potential for conflict there. So be ready for that and be prepared. There's another phenomenon that you can experience when you are traveling for a long time, and it's called highway hypnosis. Now, they do a lot of things on the interstate to help us with that. They have rumble strips on the side of the road that if you drift off, it makes a noise on your car and wakes you up. They have what they call POTS dots that mark and delineate the left lines for you so that they shine at night, are reflective. Or if you hit them, they make a noise in your car. Those are safety features for you to keep you in your lane. But be aware of the fact that when you have traveled, especially on a monotonous road for a long period of time, you can get highway hypnosis. You are basically blank and staring straight ahead, which if something happens in front of you or something unusual happens, you're unprepared for it. If you are taking a long trip like that, have brakes planned. Get off the road, get out of your car, and wake up a little bit, because you can be in a semi-sleep state and not even realize it when you're on the interstate, and that's dangerous for you. Another thing to really watch for is fatigue. It is your responsibility to not drive when you're too tired to drive. You can fall asleep, run off the road, and kill yourself or someone else. You must be mentally able to drive when you're driving. So when you start yawning, or you can't keep your eyes open, or your head starts nodding, or you're having a difficulty concentrating, or even if you're really tired and your eyes are tired, you can hallucinate and you're seeing things in the road that are not there. You think something's in the road. When you get there, there's nothing there. You need to get off the road. The only real solution for fatigue is to pull over and sleep. Now, you can turn the air conditioner on, and you can turn the radio on, and you can talk to the passengers, and you can roll down the window. You can try all that stuff. But it usually doesn't work but for a few minutes. You really need to get off the road, find a lit, well-lit area, and close your eyes for a few minutes, and then get back on the road. Drinking coffee is not the solution. If you drink a lot of coffee or consume a lot of caffeine, it feels great for a while, but as soon as it's out of your system, then it's even more difficult for you to stay awake. And some people have no warning signs. They're awake and then they're asleep, and they don't go through the progression of tiredness and yawning and irritability that the average person does. If you're that person, be aware of that and pull over and sleep when you feel the slightest bit of fatigue. Be watching for construction areas. If you do any amount of driving state to state, you'll realize we have a lot of construction going on. Our infrastructure in America is what? Did I tell you what it was ranked? 28th. 28th, according to Joe Biden. We're 28th. We have a lot of repairs that are going on. Be especially careful. You can kill those guys on the road. Be aware of the fact that you need to move over, but also be watching for them. You got a guy working on the road, especially if they're just standing on the road working. They've got all that noise and all that sensory thing going on. They can step backwards into the road without realizing it. You watch for them. You don't want to injure one of those guys because you're not paying attention. That is no place to be talking on the phone. People talk and they text, eating your sandwich. When you're in those kind of situations, you need to have both your hands gripped on the wheel, paying close attention to what's going on. And a lot of times in construction, they will reroute the lanes. You know what I mean? You might see a sign like this where now all the lanes are going like this. Watch for those signs. Be careful that you're heeding those. And many times you'll see signs that say, do not change lanes in this construction zone, you know. And it can get really tight because they'll build those walls. And it might be, I know I've been in situations where there'll be barrels right here and the walls are just, I mean, you feel like you're squeezing in because there's no shoulders. There's nowhere to go. It's a wall and barrels. Now they're going to put those cones, right, to keep you from entering a certain lane. They might put it all the way coming up to an exit or something, and then they will leave a spot for you to come in between the barrels maybe, or the cones, and get into this exit lane. But they are blocking off a lot of that exit where they are working on it or something. When you see a cone beside the road, that means stay in the center of your lane. Okay, stay to the left of that cone. When you see barrels, you know, you see those orange barrels with the white stripe, orange and white barrels. Those barrels are supposed to be filled with sand or water. And what they do, if you were to go off the road or miss and hit those barrels, they slow you down so that your impact is less when you get across that barrel. It's actually a protection device for the whatever's going on the other side. Construction is a very dangerous thing for you and for all the people that are involved in the actual construction. Be especially careful in construction areas. Another area that you're going to run into on the expressway that you have to take extreme caution are toll booths. You can't just be flying into those toll booths. You have to be careful of the speed limit, and usually it's like 15, right, when you get down to the toll booth. And read those signs carefully. I've had this happen to where, this happened to me not that long ago. I was in that left lane, and then when I got down to a certain point in that left lane, there was a wall between me and the right lane, and the left lane was smart tag only. I got stuck over there. So I had to go through it because there was nobody, you know, working it or anything. If that happens to you and you run a toll booth, they will take a picture of your license plate and they'll send you a ticket in the mail for the money, you know, and they'll send you a ticket, and they'll do it from every state. So if you're in Florida, if you're in Georgia, if you're in Virginia, whatever you are, if you run that toll booth by accident, I mean, don't run them on purpose, right? But you, in that situation where I was accidentally stuck in the smart tag lane, but the trick to that is pay that ticket when you get it, because it's a heavy fine if you don't pay it. So it's going to be the amount, you know, 75 cents or whatever it was you owed them the first time they send the ticket. Then they're going to chunk a big penalty on it and send it to you again. If they don't hear from you, they're going to up that penalty. By the time they're finished, you're going to end up paying a lot of money for that toll, where if you just paid it right off the bat, you wouldn't have any problems. So be sure you pay those right away. When you come to those toll booths, be very slow and work with everybody. You know, it's really tricky because when you come out, you know, you're all kind of coming out at the same time. So you have to be sure that you're working and paying close attention with the people around you and slow way down going through those. If you were to miss your exit, what are you going to do?
Go to the next exit.
Go to the next exit and come back. It's usually not that far. You know, we have a lot of exits through our towns. I mean, if you're out in the country, it can be a ways, but that's just the way it is. You have to come back. Another situation that I didn't cover is sun glare. You know, you can use that visor. You should have sunglasses in your car. I get out here sometimes when I'm driving with children, those students, and they're doing behind the wheel, and we get out here, and if you're out here at a certain time of day, the sun is right in your eyes. Have you ever noticed that? Or it's a really bright day. Wear sunglasses. You should have sunglasses to help you be able to see your vision. You know, driving is all about vision. And you can have a light shining in your eyes, and you cannot see. So if the sun's behind you, realize that the guy coming towards you could have the light right in his eyes and not see you, too. Let's talk about emergency situations. When you are out on the road, things can happen, and you need to know how to respond, and that's what I'm going to try to teach you in this class. So you know in advance what to do when certain things happen. The main thing about being in an emergency situation is don't panic. Try to think clearly and grab the wheel tightly. You know what I'm saying? Don't immediately just slam on your brakes, because a lot of times in certain emergency situations, that's the worst thing you can do is slam on your brakes. So hopefully you'll learn this in this class, and when these situations arise, this will come back to you and you'll remember what to do.